Welcome all. We are just waiting for all the guests to come in. So just one more minute. We'll be going live. Welcome Shemi, welcome Gaurav, Shirley, Isia, Shashish Kumar, Sui, Muhammad, Farhan. Uh, Hi Farhan Akhtar. We have a celebrity in the room. Aftab, hi Cody, hi Sherry, hi Cassandra. How are you? So we have Cassandra in the room and we're just
Hi,
waiting for.
Gaurav. Hi, Gaurav. Nice to see you here. Cassandra, lovely. A very good morning to all. We have 19 here now.
So, good morning, all. Today is the first day of High Performance Entrepreneur Series. So, as you all know, we are going to take you through 100 days. So, initially in 2019, this was my initiative called Chumawa. So, this is an extension of that. So, we are planning, I'm planning for 100 days of 100 audio events in which we are going to study about entrepreneurship, fitness, and lot many things. So, today we have with us today's moderator, Mr. Jasir, who is a expert coach on LinkedIn. His specialty is an expert on LinkedIn. So he's going to take us through personal branding basics on LinkedIn. So half an hour we'll have uh, how the session goes. Half an hour we'll have the speakers speaking, and after that we want your questions, we want your experience to be heard. So anyone would like to speak and raise their hands now itself. So we'll gradually put you in. So after half an hour, we'll start the Q&A session. Hi Neeraj, I'm very happy to see you there. I'm very happy that Neeraj is there today. So we get a lot of things to learn from Neeraj.
Kabir, Dr. Sujit has raised his hand.
Yes. Dr. Sujit is today's speaker. I'm very happy to have Sujit in. So just let me add Sujit to the panel. Uh, Neeraj, it would be our honor to have you on the stage. So if you could raise the hand,
Hi,
it would be
Valerie.
great.
DTM Valerie, a warm welcome.
Okay, Jasir. Okay.
Yeah, good morning,
Yeah,
Neeraj.
we were planning to invite Neeraj for another talk, but I'm happy that you came in today. But today's the panel would be the moderator is Jasir. Apart from that, we have speakers Jyotika, Rijesh, Dr. Sujit, and Neeraj. So we'll add Jasir. He's the moderator, so I have to ask his permission. Jasir, we'll add Neeraj also to the speaking line today.
Yeah, sure. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
and thanks a lot, Jasir. Just a few things in the meeting. Everyone has to keep the mic on mute when they're not speaking. So the moderator would be taking the discussion forward. So thanks a lot. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Kabir. Thank you. Hello and welcome everyone to the first episode of our transformative series. This is designed for entrepreneurs, coaches, and all other professionals. I'm your co-host, moderator, and I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you on this journey. We will unlock the secrets of leveraging LinkedIn to its fullest potential. So let me welcome Jyotika, Rajesh, Dr. Sujit, and Neeraj. Thank you all for joining. It's absolutely great to have you all on the first session. I got this feeling this is going to be a really special session. So today we embark on this series with our opening episode, Launching Your Journey, Personal Branding Basics on LinkedIn. So that's the topic for today. So every day for the next 100 days, there'll be topics on different verticals of that that entrepreneurs should be aware of and should be working on to improve. So today is about personal branding, especially here on LinkedIn. Whether you're taking your first steps on LinkedIn or aiming to rejuvenate your existing profile, this session could be your gateway to a vibrant and successful LinkedIn presence. Now, let's move on to some of the talking points. When we speak about personal branding, in the digital era, personal branding has merged to a pivotal aspect of personal growth. LinkedIn has changed its algorithms, like we've been speaking last couple of days. And it's everyone is on LinkedIn. There's a lot of things going on, and one of the reasons is that absolutely people are getting the benefits out of that. So people are ready to spend the time, and they're moving to LinkedIn. And having your personal brand on LinkedIn has become really crucial, whether you're a professional or an entrepreneur or leader in your company. So it's not just about showcasing your resume now. It's more about narrating your story, your journey, and your personal expertise in a way that resonates with your audience. So, with that being said, let's bring up the speakers. I'll allow them to introduce themselves briefly, and then we'll move on to some questions, and let's see how it goes. So let's start with Jyotika. Jyotika.
Hi, thank you, Jasir. Thank you very much. And a warm good morning to all the speakers here in the panel as well as the audience present here. It's really nice to see you on a Monday morning. My name is Jyotika Shetty, and I'm a communication coach. Been in the communication industry for 10 years, and also an entrepreneur and a banker, ex-banker and an entrepreneur. So carry with me experience of over 25 years from that aspect as well. And now I also coach people to be effective leaders, communicators, and overcome the fear of public speaking. So that's about me. Over to you, Jasir.
Thank you, Jyotika. So people ask, why is personal branding crucial in today's digital age? In this, but in this competitive landscape, having a personal brand helps you stand out a lot. Showcasing not just your skills but values, your passions, the unique perspective you bring to the table. It's about what people think of when they hear your name. So it fosters trust and establishes credibility and creating a strong foundation for networking collaboration. So my question to you, Jyotika, is about what was the initial approach to personal branding on LinkedIn, and how has it evolved over time?
Well, that's a very good question, Jasir. I say this because I started my career in a corporate sector. So when you're working in a corporate sector, especially, I'm not talking about these days, but at least roughly about 15 years back, branding was not really something that we consciously thought about. We thought more about our jobs, conducting it effectively, and all of that. But what happened with us is we also had a business simultaneously. So my husband and I ran a construction company. We have run it for the last 24 years. And those times, I mean, we started our business in the late 90s. And those days, as you know, social media was not that prominent and it was just growing. And leave alone personal branding. It was more the advertisements that you would see on the TV, but as far as your personal brand is concerned, that awareness was not that much. But in the last 24 years, what I've realized is that together, as a business person, together with business, it's also important for you to highlight your personal brand as well. Because when you create that personal brand for yourself, it also helps in your business. For example, I got into the public speaking domain about 10 years back. And over a period of time, I've dealt with people, helping them overcome their fear of public speaking. But unknowingly, I had created a profile online and people were seeing me, people were watching me. Now, there was a business person there was a businesswoman who was working alongside and a public speaker. So unknowingly, I was building up a profile of a public speaker and speaking and talking to people and creating that transparency online. And I realized that actually helped me in my business as well. So what we need to do is when you have a personal brand, if you can know how to use it with your business and bring them both together, it will then work. So whether now I'm a coach, so that's an individual identity that I've created for myself. So definitely my personal branding will elevate my position to the next level. But if you're talking about working for someone or working in an organization or working in a corporate sector, personal branding does help you, because if you are in a good position, either it helps you to grow your profile and move to the next level, or if you're in the sales side or in the marketing side, it definitely helps you to move yourself to the next level, because you collaborate, you connect with people. So for me personally, unknowingly, it has moved in the right direction. But now what I'm doing is I kind of brought in that conscious sense of brand building, which was not there a couple of years back. And especially now that I see and I meet a lot of people, I also understood the power of collaboration. And when you have already created a brand for yourself, uh, like for the others, if you've created a brand for yourself, that collaboration becomes much easier. So it's not easy to build. It definitely takes time and effort, but it is definitely worth building your brand online. If that helps, Jasir, over to you.
Thanks, Julian. Definitely, definitely, that's what it does. It helps you position yourself better to your audience. Be that your next career move, or it could be getting more from your sales community. It could be more from about building communities, collaborating. It could be about all of those things. So. Rajesh, if you're there, talking about communities, and I know you've been an entrepreneur at heart for some time, but you also worked, you're in the work, still working in the corporate sector as well. So, and we recently worked on your profile. So, how was it? How was the experience of transitioning into LinkedIn and rebranding yourself in LinkedIn? How has it helped your passion? Rajesh, if you're there.
I think we can move on to the next speaker.
Okay. I'll just come back to Rajesh later. I think we have some problems there. So we were talking about creating, stellar LinkedIn profile. So your LinkedIn profile is like your digital business card. It's the first impression you make on potential employers, clients, collaborators. So some of the key elements includes, your photo, your compelling headline, the banner, that's a face. So these are things that you can work on when you work on, the your LinkedIn profile. This should be helps you to these elements should help you to stand out. And we have here someone who is a specialist on that, who has helped many CEOs and founders supercharge their accounts, and helped them a lot. So Neeraj, how was the journey been for you? When you help clients with with their LinkedIn.
Hey, Jazir, thank you so much for having me. And Kabir, thanks for pulling me in on this one. I thought I was going to be a quiet observer, but appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of restarted my LinkedIn journey about 3 years back. I decided to go all in. And at that point in time, I had decided to pivot my business. So, for those of you who don't know, I moved to India about 19 years back. I knew one person, and I ended up starting a business network called BNI. So, BNI in India was started by me. And I really understood the power of building a personal brand then, because at that point in time, no one knew me. I was starting from scratch and I was starting a brand new business. But as I consciously or maybe unconsciously initially, focused on networking and adding value in person, I found that my personal brand got associated with networking, and that led to a lot of opportunities that came. And in April 2020, when the world was under lockdown, I understood at that point in time that this was going to be a pivot point where people were going to go from offline networking to online networking, and I couldn't think of a better place to position yourself than on LinkedIn. So I jumped all in, and setting up your LinkedIn profile is so important. I think it's the number one thing that will initially. The way I would suggest you look at it is look at it as a pitch deck. If you look at it as a pitch deck, then you will be able to just get more value out of it. You want to make it very sticky. Um, and the kind of work we do with entrepreneurs and founders, we help them really optimize six key things. The first is you've got to get the positioning right. Who is the perfect target market for you? And you've got to develop a profile which is aligned to attract that kind of person. Your photo makes a huge difference, and getting a good photo that is smiling and 60% of your head should be covering the circle. That is important. These days, there's some really cool AI tools that will help you rate how good your photo is. My favorite one is the Snapper Photo Analyzer. That's SNAPPR. Okay. And it will give you a rating out of 100. So the higher your score, the better the photo it is. And the really cool thing there is that it will give you a very detailed report in terms of what is good and what is not so good, giving you specific feedback and information about what you can do to improve it. And then you can upload some new photos based on the feedback that you receive. So that is really important. Um, After people look at your photo, then they will look at your banner. And in your banner, you've got to have your elevator pitch embedded. Who do you serve? How do you serve them specifically? What is the measurable result that you help them get? And what is the timeline that you can help them achieve that? If you have these key elements, that actually makes for a very powerful elevator pitch. And then finally, the third thing I will say is your headline, because the search algorithm is driven by that. So whatever are the keywords that you use in the headline, please don't just use your job title and company name. That is the most common mistake that people end up meeting. Making. What you want to do is think of the first line as being a shortened version of your elevator pitch, and then the words that come after should be in terms of search engine optimization. What are keywords that people searching for your expertise are going to search for? Use those, within there. You have, over 260 characters that you can use for that. So use that really well. And then lastly, there'll be a link that is under your name, which is very important. And I would say that 60% of my leads come because of that one link, which is underneath my name. So make sure that you embed a lead magnet, which is related to your expertise underneath that. So thanks so much. Back to you, just it.
Thanks, Neeraj. That was really great. You covered almost everything about having setting up the basic LinkedIn profile, all the points that everyone needs to follow, everyone needs to check. It's a great checklist to follow. Thank you so much. And the other thing about LinkedIn is network. More than ever, people are using LinkedIn for networking now, for personal networking now. Before, it was more of an online resume. Finding jobs, you just post your. Now, probably Indeed has taken that role, and now LinkedIn is more about building connections, building meaningful networks. We used to do that in a different way probably before COVID, pre-COVID days, like Vinod said. So I'd like to bring up Dr. Sujit. Are you there? Okay. Meanwhile, we'll just go back to Rajesh. Rajesh, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know you're an entrepreneur at heart, and like I was telling, like what was your experience like having changed your, branding, having rebranded yourself on LinkedIn recently, and how has it impacted your reach as a community builder?
Thank you, Joseph, so much for keeping me part of this audio event. I actually help people building up communities, and when it came to LinkedIn, a professional platform for the same aspect, branding was so important. Earlier, we used to do the community management or the networking within our family, friends. It was easy, maybe within a different profile or WhatsApp. But when it came to professional, LinkedIn was the choice, and branding was so important. People, after getting the branding done, I think I'm getting connections or getting the response from various industries, and that makes an importance being in this professional platform. So I would very, very strongly commend personal branding is a mandate to build up your network through the professional platform, LinkedIn.
Yeah, so we use some of the tools like SSI, and you can go ahead and check out your SSIs, or social indexing. So, how has that improved for you? Have you had a chance to check that recently?
Yeah, I got a chance. I was actually with this audio event broadcasted in the morning. I was just checking. I think I have jumped into 66%, and in the network also I jumped into the second position or the third position. So it's amazing actually after having this branding done. Many people may be not aware of the SSI index, so
Right,
it's a tool to check in. So it makes a very big impact. I've seen that.
right, right. Yeah, I think Dr. Sujit is back. So I was actually going to ask him about the how networking has impacted. Like pre-COVID days, we used to network a lot, maybe one-to-one, not one-to-one online, but like probably at events but post-COVID or during the COVID, we all got trained to do virtual events, and we all got to network more online. And how has that changed things for you, Doctor? Like, how is networking? And I mean, you are a person who does a lot of that.
All right, all right. Thank you, Jasbir. Thank
Please,
you, Kabir,
please
for
introduce yourself and
I shall do that. Thank you, Jasir. Thank you, Kabir. So my name is Dr. Sujit. I run a couple of entities here in the UAE and GCC region. Primarily, what we do is we are in the education space. So we work with universities and schools in the region, and we help them meet their academic regulations that's set by the regulatory bodies here. So we help them in academic plans, feasibility study, market research, recruitment services. So that's our consulting arm. We also have a study abroad arm where we send students to UK, US, Canada, New Zealand. So that's another entity of ours. And those of them who are entrepreneurs and want to set up their businesses in these countries, we help them with the innovator and entrepreneur visa. And to support these three main entities, we have a very small media company with 15 employees. We have a travel company that assists our parents and children, and we have a data analytics company. So overall, company is well poised, and for us, like Jasir correctly mentioned, connections are very important. Each of these small entities look at their respective connections in the respective field, whether it be connections with university professors, investors, market operators, academic service providers. And when we look at study abroad, we look at individual parents, individual children. So branding and brand positioning and networking has been very critical. And I think I more or less resonate to what Neeraj and Jyotika have just said, wherein your brand really resonates to who you are. So your individual brand and the brand of your company speaks a certain language. They have certain strengths, and highlighting those strengths and conveying that in the right communicative manner to your clients and aspirants who want to look at your service is the right aim. And I think LinkedIn is now growing in a very huge manner to help brands create their brand value. And it's now almost reached a point where when we talk B2B, we want to connect somebody, the main software that comes to your mind is LinkedIn. So it is coming up very huge in the manner in which it is building your presence digitally. It becomes your digital card, it becomes your go-to market space, and the place to get maximum awareness about your brand. So all your corporate communication messages are now being put on LinkedIn, and I think Jasir and Kabir are doing an excellent job in setting this as the platform for corporate communication. Kudos to you guys. Keep going. Keep bigger heights. Hopefully, all entrepreneurs and growing, aspiring managers are able to reap this benefit and reach success that you are aiming through this. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sujit. That was amazing to hear that change from a person who's been in the industry for a long time. I've seen both the transition to digital marketing. Um, so let me pull up Kabir, and we are going to talk about something that's changed in LinkedIn over the last couple of years, probably drastically. That is the content creation and engagement. How people used to view LinkedIn before, and now as a place where content is fueling, and content is a fuel that drives engagement in LinkedIn, and it's a way to share your knowledge, insights, and perspectives with your network and beyond. So the significance of content is, especially in personal branding, is huge, and regular content creation establishes you as a thought leader in the field. And it fosters engagement and discussions, helping you to build a vibrant community on LinkedIn. So, Kabir, can you share some tips for how best to engage with your community or your people, your circles, and LinkedIn?
Uh, Good morning, all. Thanks, Jasser. I'll just tell you one small story how it impacted me. So, before that, I'm very honored to have Neeraj here. I have been studying, I've been using LinkedIn from the day it was public to all, but I had only around 1,000 followers. But this January, I had Dr. Mark Russell who told me, Kabir, who doesn't know me, I'm a dreamer basically. I help others dream. So if you have a dream, I weave the dream. That's what I have if I tell. So I help startups build. I was an entrepreneur for 20 years, and I have failed 10 startups. I've taken one of my startups to great heights. Still had to put it on sleep this January. So you could go to my profile, have a read of it. After that, 3 months back, I started a walk to empower startups in 2019 called Chumawa. So that's where I used to spend my time with startups, and a lot of startups used to come and we used to walk early morning. So 3 months back, so I always like to groom startups. So 3 months back, I started doing my own cohorts. So every year I take 10 people So it's a 10-year long cohort for startups. So and it is a bit tough. You have to wake up at 4 o'clock and sleep early. So my next enrollment is next year, like 2024 May. So that's what I do mainly, and I have my startup farm team, which is on sleep mode right now. So for me, I'll tell you my personal example how it worked. For my first cohort, I wanted to have people for the cohort, and I was only having 1,000 followers. So then I started reading, and I think one of the gurus which I was following is Neeraj. Then there are a few other people who I was following and understanding the algorithm of the potential of LinkedIn. And then in like what it took me 18 years to reach 1,000, but reaching 4,000 now, I don't know, 4,500 took me just these months. And in just 1 month, I have increment of 1,000 followers. So I started studying it, and Jasir also helped me in building it. And I got my 10 people to the cohorts. Technically speaking, there is 30 application, and we are I'm fine tuning the team. So this was one of the things which I would tell as a very easy example, which would connect to everyone. Hope that answers Jasir. Hello, Jasir, you're there?
Anyway, okay. Thanks a lot for that. I was thinking you might have some more tips to share. So,
So I thought since it is half an hour,
right, it's half an
we
hour.
have to call other
Let's
speakers.
start bring in and whoever wants to have questions, questions for anyone of us on the panel, please raise your hands. Okay, we will pull you up and we can discuss further. We've got Dr. Snehal there. A very good morning, good afternoon. I'm in India right now. So, um, Dr. Snehal, how are you?
Hi, good morning, Jasir. Good morning, everyone. So nice of you to bring me on board. I'm actually very, very impressed and I'm moved actually by the tips that all of you have shared because it's so useful. And I realize that I have a lot of work to do on my LinkedIn profile. But thanks to the tips today, I'm sure I'm halfway there already. So my question would be to Jyotika. Jyotika, you mentioned you've been running your own business and you've been branding yourself as a communication coach as well. How has LinkedIn helped you on your journey?
First of all, hi, Snehal. It's really nice to have you here. Um, it's a funny story, actually, if you're willing to listen to it. Like I said, we've been running our business, both my husband and me, for the last 24 years in Dubai. And I started off as a banker. I'm actually banking is my profession, and I'm specialized in risk and compliance. So it was all about corporate, and when you're in a corporate sector, you're not thinking anything else other than your job. Then I had this transition to being a businesswoman. By the time our business was already set and it was doing well. So when I came into the field of business, the first thing that I had to do is change my mindset. It's very difficult to move from a corporate sector to the real world. Physically, it's easier to move, but mentally, it is very difficult. Now, my job was predominantly to handle the operations in terms of finance and the back office. Obviously, I used to do a lot of recruitment as well, and I had this profile, LinkedIn profile, about I think 6 years or something like that, 6 years or 7 years back. I had absolutely no idea what LinkedIn was at least at that time. And I think LinkedIn those days was more a resume, a CV, a job kind of a profile. I have really no idea, not that I'm an expert in LinkedIn. And I would be bombarded with CVs. And I said, oh my God, why am I having even this profile here when I'm receiving so many CVs? And I actually closed it. I didn't even want to have LinkedIn and I closed it off. But when I moved and I pivoted to being a coach because public speaking, like I mentioned, is what I do with my heart and dearly. And I pivoted into public speaking and being a communication coach. And that is the time I realized, or I was made to realize, that it is very important to have your presence. If not for clients, at least you need to have a credible presence. How do you build your credibility? That's where people will approach you. Now, I didn't know how to get into LinkedIn. I had a profile, but I really didn't know how to build it. And that's where I started looking around and I also took some courses, to be honest. I'm not ashamed to tell that. I took some courses and I would say it did help. But I realized is that working on LinkedIn is a lot different than Instagram or your Facebook. It's not the same. The mentality is not the same. And you've got to work. If you put in 1x, you're going to get 0.1x. If you're going to put in 10x, you're even going to get 1x. So it was like you have to put more than what you actually give, what you get. So I really didn't know how to do it. I know Kabir for some time and then he gave me some tips, but it's a lot of hard work. But slowly and steadily, I'm getting there and I'm realizing it that I'm on the right track. But the secret behind this is you either take help from people who've already been there, like here, we have Jasir here. I've just got to know him and I think he's a great resource person to actually help you out, to really tell you the nuances of how to really work on your LinkedIn. Otherwise, you'll be struggling. But coming back to your question, it has really helped me as a communication coach because I have much more connect. I mean, I'm still not there, all right? I'm still not there. Let me confess, but I am getting there. People are recognizing me. And the beauty is, people are recognizing me on the professional side of what I do rather than the personal side. I mean, then I realized that, yes, being on FB, I'm not comparing anything, all right? They're totally different reasons why they are there, but you're there for a different reason, and here you're for a different reason. So you've got to understand that differentiation, and you've got to understand why you're on LinkedIn and use it accordingly. And that is the mind shift that I've had, and I'm using it the right way. So I've had connections. I mean, today I'm in this audio event. This is an excellent way to build your connections. If you're going to just sit and say that people are going to come to you, nobody's going to come to you. You've got to reach out. You have to extend your hand and be there outside, showing people that you can add value. That is something very important, is that what value do you have to give to others before you receive something from outside? So first, know your job well, or rather, even if you do not know your job well, at least make the effort to learn your job well so you can add value to others. It's not just cut and paste information, but genuinely go from this space of adding value to people. Your brand will be built over a period of time. Again, it takes time. It's not, Rome was not built overnight. It is going to take time, but you know that you're moving and inching towards heights rather than backwards. So for me, if I look at my profile, just today sitting here, I've gained like 10 to 15 connections. Which other place gives you that? And they're all credible connections whom I can build good collaborations and add value to my success as well as their success. So I would say, before I conclude, you have to know to add value to people while you're here. Keep engaging yourself actively. That's a great way to build your tribe and add value to people, right? And get better at what you're doing. So you're genuinely and authentically there for a reason. All right? If that answers your question, Snehal, over to you.
Yes, Jyotika, thank you so much for that. I resonate completely with with all that you said, actually, right from the shifting of the mindset, as well as the adage you left us with, that you need to learn to give more, much more than what you expect to receive.
Right.
Thank you so much for that. Over to you, Jasir.
Yeah, thank you. Kabir, we have one more. So we've got a few people raising their hands. If you can bring them up. Okay. Neeraj, I just wanted to quickly ask you, as Kabir pulls up some more people, like what are some of the mistakes people commonly make on their LinkedIn? how they use LinkedIn or the profile, if you can.
Um, Thanks. I think if I were to look at some of the key mistakes, the first one is a positioning mistake. So if you don't get your positioning clear, people try and do too many things. I always tell them that look, if you were to be really well known for just one thing, what would that one thing really be? Okay. So, focus on that one thing. Okay. You may be having multiple businesses, you may be having multiple verticals, but there will be one of those verticals that will be more aligned for you to do well on in LinkedIn. So that would be one thing. And then the second thing would be people not being consistent with their content. Content gives attention at scale. Why? Because still there's less than 5% of LinkedIn users that are posting on a regular basis. By regular, I mean just once a week. So anyone who does post has an opportunity to stand out. But if you're posting randomly or you're posting once in a while, then you're not going to be able to get the right kind of audience. You're not going to be able to get the right attention. People are not going to be able to remember you. So I don't run any ads. 95% of my business comes because of LinkedIn. Okay. So I get between about 15 to 18 leads a week, all because of LinkedIn. So if you do content right, this is how people will get to know you. And if you get that content piece right, then not only will they get to know you, but they'll want to follow you, they'll like you, they'll trust you. And that is when actual conversion happens. So I'll leave you with one final thing, which is
Yeah.
if content is king, context, which is the relevancy of that content for your audience, is King Kong, and then consistency is the mother of King Kong.
Right, so correct. Thank you, Neeraj. So we got one more speaker up here. It's Toby Loba. I forgot your name pronounced right. So go ahead. And I encourage all of the people to follow each other and networks. Get to know each other. You can mouse over on all the listening people. You can follow them. You can connect with people. Encourage that. It's a great place to network with like-minded people, but probably not from your industry, but nevertheless great people who are actually interested in in the entrepreneurship journey and taking initiative coming here today. So encourage everyone to follow and yeah, Tobilogo.
Yeah, good morning, Kabir. Good morning, Jazir, and everyone that has spoken so far. Um, it's another day to build, it's another day to connect, it's another day to show up genuinely. You understand? And things that when we're talking about personal branding and on this space, we need to know the fact that I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here to be known and to make money, not just to be here for being here for a sake of being here. And somebody who wants to be known and add value to society, you need to define why you are here. You need to let people know why you always show up. Do you understand? Your content, what you do, the way you address people, the people you talk to must do one thing:
Right.
attract your right kind of people, the people you want to be able to help with what you do. It must attract them to you. That's what it must. It's not about growing followers alone. It's about nurturing these people. Do you understand? There's people must know you, like you, and trust you before they can do business with you.
Right.
They have to know you, trust you through your content before it will generate lead, nurture lead, or convert lead for you. So in the process of just creating content, in the process of creating content, in the process of showing up on LinkedIn, know why you are here. Let your message be so clear to people. Yes, everybody can talk. Everybody have the ability to talk. But it's not everyone communicating value. It's not everybody communicating value. It's not everybody communicating. So are you communicating your message in the right manner that people will understand? It is not about having a beautiful picture alone. It is not about having a very good headline that to say this is what people, we say about you or hear about you. But when they see you, when you have been seen in an audio room like this, oh, with people who you've not been in their audio room before, would they even love to have you and be like, okay, you actually have something to add. This one will make something more, it makes it more amazing.
Right.
Growing your audience, you are growing your personal brand, but you know why you are growing it. Know the people that you are attracting to yourself. Don't just grow followers, grow people that will like you, trust you, and want you enough to do business with you. You can begin to create content and begin to show up with this knowledge. You could be able to go to another level, not
Right.
just growing, but also growing your income. So I think I'll use the mic this morning the way.
Okay. Let me just encourage people to come up, raise your hands, we'll pull you up. You can ask questions, share your experience, and also if you're on the link, the page, you can leave the comments there, your questions there on the events page, and we'll bring them up for the panel. I want all of you to go, and if you have any questions, if you have any comments, feedback on the session, please put them down on the events page. You can comment them on the events page. Please do that. And yeah, we have Zarar up here. Zarar, how has it been for you, the LinkedIn journey?
Grand morning from this part over, everybody here in the room. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jasser, Kabir, everybody here. And the audience, I see beautiful people, my beautiful African people. Cassandra, hello, Sahil. Being here, it's like being blessed here on the LinkedIn. I remember like back in, it just transformed within like 3 months, Jasser. Just 3 months. I see LinkedIn coming up with rappers around the world. I mean, they changed the game. And just because we have been working here day and night, there's so many people here. I give credits to everybody here, especially Africans. Annie Houston, UK, Lashley, and Paul. So many people I can give. I mean, yesterday we were in Nicole's room. Kabir was also there, and then Kimberly. I mean, props to goes everybody here who's changing the game of LinkedIn. And personal branding is like who you are, like how Tabuloba said. I mean, props to Tabuloba. He has like amazing events. I do go there and join there and sit there, listen to them. Everybody's like doing his job here on LinkedIn, being honest to themselves to be, and everybody has like has a goal to 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 let the audience know what they really wanted. If they really wanted to come up, yes, they're welcome. So this is what I learned. I mean, back in Leslie's events, when I used to join his events, it was just me and Leslie doing the events, me and Leslie alone in the room. So, but we never gave up. Like how Kabir said yesterday, Like he thought of like 1,000 people coming up on his event, but in the end, yeah, they did come, but in the starting it was like very tough call. So now we're heading to change the games of the LinkedIn with consistency, persistence, and perseverance. We are doing this. Not just me. We are doing it. So I'm a person who's like positive about every aspect of life, with great adventures here in Pakistan. My father was like a veteran for more than like we have like veteran records here for more than like 55 years. He was a senior Kakul instructor in Pakistan Army Cadet College, Kakul, and my name like speaks for me. I worked here for different organizations. I modeled here actually. So being a personal brand is like it's like you could say a model in every company you work, whether that's like fashion designing, whether that's like companies you're working, semi-government, government, or private sectors, anything. It's about like you being the best one in the society. You live in a society actually. You visit society. We should ask this question to ourselves: which one is more real? Happiness is more real. Being yourself is like more real. That's my part, Jasa. Thank you so much. I'm always here for you guys, for my all brothers there. Actually,
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for sharing. It was really insightful and something deep. Um, so, anyone else, please raise your hands. We are just 10 minutes more. So, if you have questions, please raise your hand. I'll bring you up, or you could leave those comments on the events page. Please do that. Uh, so, Cassandra, Kabir, can you bring up Cassandra's?
Hello.
Hi, Cassandra. So, how has the LinkedIn journey been for you, and like,
It has
how has
been,
it shaped your profession and your what you do today?
yeah, the LinkedIn journey for me has been really positive. I spent a lot of time on other social media platforms before LinkedIn, and I've had a LinkedIn account for a long time and never really did anything with it. And it was introduced to me and these audio rooms, and probably the audio rooms more than anything has really created a community. It's built relationships, and it's allowed for not only the development of my personal brand, but for people who had the skills that I needed, as well as people who needed my skills. LinkedIn has really helped us to find one another. And I've done business with several people that I wouldn't know from anybody, would have no idea that they existed. But because of LinkedIn and the audio rooms and different ways that we've connected, I've found people that I've done business with, and people have found me and booked me for coaching sessions. I've been booked for some upcoming public speaking events. So things that wouldn't have come my way because they were coming from people that I had no idea existed. I can credit LinkedIn and these audio spaces. And it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning here, and I've got a room that I'll be in about 4 hours. But because I received the notification that Kabir was going to be coming on, and I've heard him speak multiple times. He always greets me so nicely when he sees me in the room, and even from across the world, some sort of a connection has happened. So because I was still awake, I just said to myself, I can stay awake a little bit longer and support Kabir. I'll jump in and I'll jump out. But what you guys have shared up to this point was interesting enough that it became more than just dropping in to show my support, but I was actually learning and being motivated and encouraged by the things that you all were sharing. So I stuck around, and I'm 6 minutes from 3 a.m. but but it was time well spent because there was such great nuggets dropped here. And really that's what this space is all about. And to know that pretty much around the clock, 24 hours a day. Whenever I happen to pick up my phone and drop into LinkedIn, there's probably going to be a place where I can learn something or connect and share something that I know with people who'd be glad to hear it. So LinkedIn has definitely changed the game for me, and I think it's my business is growing faster because of it.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for coming over, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've got one more. I can take one more. Michael is here, Michael Mumpo. And after that, we'll take final words from the speakers here and wind up because we got just 5 minutes left. So quickly, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Okay, great. So, thank you so much for this opportunity. Personally, I am amazed over the last 2.5 years. I joined LinkedIn way back in 2015, but I didn't use it until late 2020. So I have seen the value this platform provides. I've seen the opportunity this platform provides. It has enabled me to connect with people otherwise I would have not even imagined we could share a room with. It has enabled me as a co-founder in terms of building meaningful relationship or meaningful engagement with the fellow co-founders or with fellow people who are in edtech space, for instance. So personally, I am really much keen on building my profile in this kind of opportunities. And this is why when I got this notification about this personal branding, I was like, why not? So I see LinkedIn not just as a social network, but I see it as a learning platform. And maybe just more to come, but I have personally gained a lot in terms of learning from the organizational point of view to personal point of view. And I totally agree with one of the speakers. I think initially I can't remember the name. I think it's Shetty or someone mentioned the value that this platform brings in within. You can't even imagine how you can grow at a personal level but also at organizational level. So for me, I had an opportunity as a co-founder to see it in two ways. So it's a two-sided sword. So thank you so much. That's my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Definitely, there are a lot of tools on LinkedIn that you can leverage. There is as you grow on LinkedIn, there is the LinkedIn Analytics tool that helps you understand your audience better and your content strategy. There's the LinkedIn Learning platform, which helps you enhance your skills and knowledge. There's all of that. Maybe just one more person, Adar Bisui.
Well, thank you, Kabir. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I've been here for some time. It's wonderful thing. Busy, Dr. Smith, Rajesh, Dr. Sai, Josie, Tobiloba, Zara, Cassandra, and Michael. Thank you. I just want to add this to the great things that you guys are doing, that it is awesome. LinkedIn for me has actually brought a huge value. Starting from my profile, I've had to tweak my profile like 3 times in order for me to suit the purposefulness of actually what I do. And that's value that's being communicated for the audio rooms that I've been. At times, your audio room, Emmys, a lot of audio rooms. And those are the values that such. Anyone who wants to learn the lessons already can actually get it done via LinkedIn because of the kinds of personalities who are interested in one success. And that's why LinkedIn for me is totally different from all social networks. Because I see that the people on LinkedIn are actually interested in another person's success who really wants you to live, not just to exist. Also, LinkedIn has been a game changer for me because 2 days ago we just hosted the second National Literacy Day in Nigeria, and this got me connected to the Lagos State government, the largest economy in West Africa, and we are doing massive. In fact, The newspaper publication just rolled out few hours ago about what we had days ago. But we institute the first leadership library for government schools in Africa, starting from Nigeria, that is teaching STEAM, that is training young people on tech, that is inspiring SDGs from where they are to where they are going in order for them to be localized. So LinkedIn is an answered prayer for those who choose to use it wisely. Thank you so much. That's my contribution this morning. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Welcome, Abdul. Jasser is here. There's a small glitch in LinkedIn nowadays. Sorry for that, moderator. So thanks a lot. We are almost at the time. So uh, I would have from the speakers like Rajesh, Sujit, or Jyotika, your final words in 30 seconds. We are out of time now.
Well, I'd like to say that everything takes patience. So stick in, hang in there, and build your personal brand because you never know how powerfully it can, reward you. So be there and have patience and build yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Let the personal branding help us
Okay,
to grow our network, build networking. That's my point.
Sujit, can I have a final word from you, please? George, we are ending the event, but tomorrow at the same time the event will be there. I'm not taking speakers because the time is over. It happens from 10 to 11 tomorrow also. So I'm just waiting for Jasser. I don't know whether. Okay. Anyway, I'm just. We'll have to wind up because our plan is start on time and end on time. So we are 1 minute late. I'm just waiting for Jasser. So before that, I would like to thank Cassandra, Dr. Snehal, Zarar, then Tabilo, Michael, and Adubsby. Sorry if I pronounce the names wrong, and all other guests who have joined here. I hope it gave you the values to take home. So I would love to see a thumbs up from all of you to know how it was, the event was. I think we are having the next 99 days. We are going to have more events coming in, talks coming in. And apart from that, Jasser had to announce there is a daily practice which he is going to bring to you on improving your LinkedIn. He's a LinkedIn coach, so he's going to start a daily activity. So hopefully he'll be announcing it. So follow him and follow each other. See, LinkedIn is the next best platform for you to grow. And here, all other platforms. I started here. I got my clients in 3 months. I would tell 1.5 months. So focus on LinkedIn. This is one of the best platform for you to grow. And apart from that, tomorrow we have Jyotika Shetty would be having a session from her. Can I have the headlines, just 30 seconds from Jyotika? What is it about? Then
Yes, tomorrow we'll be talking about Pitch Perfect. It's mostly communication based. It'll be Pitch Perfect, crafting and delivering a compelling elevator pitch. So all of you who are aspiring to be effective speakers and would like to know how to give an elevator pitch, we will have some discussions over it. It's not a workshop as such. It is a discussion, and this is what we're going to do. We'll give you some tips on how you can bring in, give an effective elevator pitch, and we'll see. We'll have a good time tomorrow.
Kabir, I want to add something here, Kabir. I remember like back when I joined here, my pitch was like Ali, like this, Ali, and and what three P's: patience, persistence, and perseverance. Thank you so much. These are my key takeaways for today.
thanks, Zarar. Thanks, Zarar, for the final words. And since we are 4 minutes late, I would like to tell my last words as I would always tell to any entrepreneur, any of you dreaming to have your dreams come true. I would tell dream big, aim high, and start small. And just focus on what you can do the best, and I'm sure you're going to make it. And I'm here and signing off, Kabir, and the room is going to stop in. Jasir has come. Let me look. Sorry, I need the final words from Jasir.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming and sharing your knowledge. And this, I just got disconnected there for a minute and then had trouble getting back in. Sorry for that. I think Kabir has wrapped it up. Be sure to join us tomorrow. For tomorrow's event, we have another moderator, another interesting session. Yep. Kabir, over to you.
So put your comments on how the event was. Don't forget for that, and just follow for join for the next tomorrow's event. And again, dream big, aim high, and start small. Telling that, I'm counting for the three, and the room will be closed. Three, two, one. Bye bye all, and signing off, Kabir.